If eating less burned fat, most people who diet would already be lean. But that's not what we see. We see people eating less every year, tracking calories more carefully, skipping meals, avoiding foods they enjoy, and still struggling with stubborn fat, plateaus, and weight that comes back faster than it left. That contradiction matters, because it tells us fat loss is not failing due to lack of discipline. It's failing because the body responds to dieting in a predictable biological way. This video explains that biology, not motivation, not hacks, not shortcuts, just how fat loss actually works inside the human body. And if this way of thinking finally makes sense to you, subscribe to Wellness Plate, because this channel focuses on fixing the system, not blaming the person.
Calories are real. Energy balance exists. When people reduce calories, weight often drops in the beginning. That early success reinforces the idea that eating less is the main driver of fat loss. Food labels, calorie tracking apps, and fitness culture all strengthen this belief. And in the short term, it often works. The problem is not that calories are wrong. The problem is that calories alone do not explain what happens next. The body is adaptive, not mathematical. The human body is not a static system. When calorie intake drops, the body does not keep burning energy at the same rate. It adapts. Energy expenditure decreases. Hunger signals increase. Spontaneous movement drops without conscious awareness. This is not damage. This is not a broken metabolism. This is normal survival physiology. The body does not ask, "How many calories did I eat today?" It asks, "Are resources becoming scarce?" If the answer feels like yes, the body defends itself.
Fat loss requires access to stored fat. Insulin plays a central role in determining whether fat is released or kept stored. When insulin stays elevated for long periods, fat release becomes difficult. When insulin is lower and stable, stored fat becomes accessible for energy. This explains why people can eat less and still feel hungry. It also explains why people can be in a calorie deficit and still feel low energy. If the body cannot access stored fat efficiently, it compensates by increasing appetite instead. This is not a willpower issue. It is a signaling issue.
Leptin communicates energy availability to the brain. As calorie intake and body weight decrease, leptin levels fall. The brain interprets this as a potential energy threat. In response, it reduces energy output and increases hunger. This is why fat loss often slows after early success, and why weight regain is so common after aggressive dieting. The body is not resisting fat loss, it is defending survival.
Stress adds another layer. Chronic stress raises cortisol. Cortisol raises blood sugar. That increases insulin demand. Many people diet while under constant stress. Poor sleep, skipped meals, heavy caffeine use, work pressure, mental overload. A body under sustained stress prioritizes immediate energy availability over fat loss. This is why two people eating similar calories can have very different outcomes. At this point, most people ask the wrong question. They ask, "What should I eat?" The more important question is simpler. What state is my body in right now? Because fat loss doesn't fail for one reason. It fails in different ways. And each one requires a different first step. Pause the video if you need to. This is not a test. It's a classification.
You snack frequently. You crave sugar or refined carbs most days. You feel tired or sleepy after meals. You rarely feel truly hungry, but still want food. Weight increases easily with small overeating. If this sounds like you, insulin is the dominant signal. In this state, the problem is not how much you eat. The problem is fat access. Eating less randomly does not fix fat loss here. Eating differently does.
You are hungry most of the day. You feel colder than before. Fat loss stopped after early success. You think about food constantly. You feel weaker and more fatigued than earlier in your diet. If this sounds familiar, your body perceives energy threat. In this state, eating less does not speed up fat loss. It actively blocks it.
Your sleep is poor or inconsistent. You rely heavily on caffeine. Cravings peak at night. You feel wired, anxious, or mentally overloaded. Fat gain concentrates around the abdomen. If this fits, stress hormones are overriding fat loss. Until stress comes down, fat loss is biologically deprioritized. Fat loss treatment is sequential, not simultaneous. You do not fix everything at once. You fix the dominant state first. When that improves, fat loss becomes possible again, often with less effort, not more. Stop cutting calories further. Stop adding more exercise. Stop blaming yourself. All three make the wrong state worse.
Fat loss improves when the body perceives safety instead of threat. Consistent meals, adequate protein, reduced chronic stress, sufficient sleep, sustainable pacing. When these signals are present, hunger stabilizes and energy output normalizes. Fat loss becomes less forced and more consistent. If eating less hasn't worked for you, it doesn't mean you failed. It means the strategy ignored how the body actually works. If you want fat loss explained without blame, extremes, or confusion, subscribe to Wellness Plate. This channel approaches fat loss the way medicine approaches treatment. Identify the state first, then choose the correct approach.